brings a lot of color to what used to be just a pile of garbage and dirt.
The garden must have taken a long time, and it would be horrible if it was just destroyed.
I started because of pandemic. We could not go golfing. We could not go to church. And then I had time on my hand.
Kathy Lee is trying to save a garden she planted in her neighborhood. She got started during the pandemic and says neighbors got on board, contributing flowers and protecting it from damage.
It was wonderful. And then later on, the young people, and they come around there with their friends, say, oh, this is a such flower.
But there's a catch. It was planted on public property and the city has taken notice. The garden was planted right at the end of Pineway Boulevard, just over that metal barrier, right at the end of the cul-de-sac. Can we go take a look?
Sure, yes. And then you can see a lot of annuals, dahlias, and then now this is autumn flower, chrysanthemum.
But while many neighbors have enjoyed and even contributed to the garden, the enthusiasm has not been unanimous. One neighbor, Liliana, provided these photos to City News. She declined to speak on camera, but told us some old bed frames were placed around the garden during the rainy season, becoming an eyesore. The City of Toronto confirming it received at least one complaint. When staff arrived to remove them, that's when it was discovered some of Kathy's plants weren't approved by the city's bylaw. Unfortunately, this garden does not meet the city's policy criteria for a community garden or pollinator garden. The garden was planted atop a steep slope, so there are stability, safety, and liability concerns.
I felt a little sad, but I must say, for 2 seasons, I had such a joy.
Well, we're looking for a partnership. This has been kind of an odd story.
Meanwhile, City Councillor Shelley Carroll says the city will try to find some middle ground. She says after construction of the bridge crossing the ravine, the land was left somewhat barren, becoming a popular spot for illegal dumping.
And so Kathy took it upon herself to plant a garden. And it is public property, and that's kind of a no-no. But, you know, she did her best to make it a wildflower garden. Let's not get rid of this garden. Let's applaud a resident who was trying to deal with an orphan space and partner with her. And that's what we're working on now, that the city say some of these are invasive species we don't want to spill down into the ravine. So let's fix those, but let's try and preserve Kathy's effort in this garden.
I just hope so. I just hope there's some consideration.
The city has confirmed its plans to uproot the garden are now on hold, while other options are being examined. In North York, David Zura, City News.